as Art has always kind of gone this week. It's his annual vacation week. Jonathan Dent is with me. Jonathan, we've been debating it, and I've been kind of joking that he's at the craps table, but is Art on a train this week?
I keep meaning to ask someone who actually knows, but I don't.
See, I figured you were my guy.
Idea.
I figured for sure you would know this.
I know what Art is doing between the hours of 9 and 11:30 on weekdays.
Totally
Most
fair.
of the time.
Totally
whenever
fair.
he's here, yeah.
But before and after that, absolutely no idea.
No
right?
idea.
So, Jonathan, this is an important question I'm going to ask you because we've been here before, but do you know what day it is?
Today is Thursday.
What else is today? Today's a special day. It's perhaps one of my favorite days of the year, and I think you should know. What day is it,
Is
Jonathan?
it National Donut Day?
Yes, it is. He got it. Jonathan Dent has it right. November 5th of every year. Wait, is today the 5th?
Today's the 6th.
Wait a minute. Was it yesterday?
Did we miss National Donut Day?
Did I miss National Donut Day?
Hold on.
I saw something. I'm like, wait a minute.
It was yesterday.
It was yesterday?
Yes.
Oh, no, folks. This is tragic because we like to speak things into existence, and we miss National Donut Day.
We did.
We're 364 days away from National Donut Day again.
You didn't celebrate.
Just a tragic error on our part.
It really is.
It was kind of funny. I saw a post, and I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense that I was on the air when it was National Donut Day in the past because we have this week. I'm like, oh, cool. It's today.
No.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to wrap
This
up
is devastating.
this edition of the Art Lewis Show. We're all just going to call it a day. So apparently we're going to have to just give ourselves a cheat day, and you and I are just going to have to make National Donut Day our thing today. Although I'm sure November 6th is something day, right? This is where my newly invented creation of the week, ChatGPT Dent, is going to let us know what November 6th is.
National Nachos Day.
Hey, you know what? That works just
go.
fine. It is National Nachos Day.
It is also the International Day for preventing the exploitation of the environment in war and armed conflict.
So I'm going to go with National Nachos Day is going to be where I'm going to go. The other one I didn't even fully understand, so we're going to ignore that day.
National Men Make Dinner Day.
Oh, that sounds okay.
Making nachos for dinner.
Making a twofer, folks. I celebrated the day twice. I made nachos, so it's National Men Make Dinner Day, and we had nachos to celebrate National Nacho Day. I mean, that's 2 for 2 right there.
Yep.
Okay, well, so be it. So this morning, we have a great guest with us. We have the governor with us. No, not Big Gretch. Not the governor of another state. We have Rotary District Governor with us, Paul Wiese. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Good. So how many people just call you governor now that you have that title?
Not many, a few. But usually they put district governor in front of it. That way it doesn't get confused with anyone of power.
So I used to work for Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, and everyone just called him governor because it was so hard. Like, do you know how much time you waste in your life saying Lieutenant Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Lieutenant Governor? It just became easier to say governor. Does your wife call you governor when you wake up every night? She's like,
No,
good morning, governor?
No, she is the first lady though.
She is the first lady?
Yes.
So let's talk about Rotary. You are the district governor of Rotary. You cover a district. But before we kind of go into that, everyone kind of has I became a Rotarian story, right? How did you first become a Rotary? What drew you to Rotary? Were you like, sure, I'll go to a meeting. I'll check this out. How did that start for you?
Well, when I moved to Bay City in 15, I bought a business in 15, so we moved to Bay City from Frankenmuth, and I wanted to get involved more in the community. Bay City is kind of like my big town, hometown. I grew up in Seabuine, but you went to Bay City as a kid for mostly everything, from the mall to the movies. And I was researching different things to get into, and I looked at, service organizations and giving back to the community, and I was going to do 3 things in life other than be a dad and a husband and a business owner. I wanted to do something, but not too many, because I think you can spread yourself out. And Rotary looked like a great opportunity. I was invited to the the Noon Rotary Club by a local realtor, Frank Janka. And back then, prior to COVID, this was 2016, actually 15, right at the end of 15. Very vibrant club, tons of people, like very welcoming. They had greeters, welcome to Rotary, like we're at the DoubleTree, really nice lunch, some amazing speakers. And you just got this vibe of people of influence that wanted to give back. And that's really what made me go, all right, this is something I could be a part of.
So you're talking 15, 16 you joined?
Yeah.
Man, it's a quick ascent from, hey, I'll go to a Rotary meeting to being the governor.
Well, when it gets to me in my life, I want to do things that help and give back. And there's only so much time when you have kids and a business to run and, that. So I looked at Rotary. I decided to get involved in the club, got into some committees in our local club, got into doing things like membership and just trying to help in any way I could. We meet every Tuesday at the DoubleTree at noon. So I got involved in that. Then I was asked to be on the board and then was approached to be president of the club. And that was right around 21, 22. And said, sure. Ended up following a really great president, Carrie Strokerich, when she had to deal with all the COVID video. We were doing Zoom meetings.
Just unreal, right?
It was kind of I don't think she had a meeting in person, which really I felt bad for her. And then we got back to meetings in person and kind of upstarted or tried to kick it back up. And, that's been a struggle really with Rotary after COVID, is just getting people to come back. We still have people pay their dues. We have a lot of quiet, like non-participant Rotarians that are still Rotarians, still give money to the funds and do things, but they don't show up much for meetings anymore.
Sure. So we were in the same club for a hot minute, in terms of not at the same time, but I joined the same club. So it was Bay City Noon Rotary. You guys meet Tuesdays. And I kind of had a litany of people asking me to go. Rob Clark was kind of on me. Sherry Brzezinski ended up convincing me. I worked at McLaren at the time, and she said, hey, why don't you come over and check out the meeting? And I'll be completely honest. Someone that you work with, it's a coworker, they ask you, like, okay, it's very kind that they asked. I'm going to, just do solid and go to this meeting and, I'll be done with it, right? So I go in, same thing. The people are friendly. A lot of people I know, a lot of new faces. I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. And they're trying to make the case to me, this will be good for business. This will be good for your work. I'm like, okay. So we sit down, and then that day the program was Chuck Cusick. And Chuck was talking all about...
We call him Mr. Polio.
Mr. Polio.
Yeah.
He was talking all about Rotary's efforts to eradicate polio. And he started going through, Paul, and he's going through countries, he's going through vaccinations, and he's going through, and we give these people the drops, and we pay money, and there's matching grants from the Gates Foundation. He's going through all this stuff. And for me, Paul, I was just blown away because, so I have a degree from MSU in international relations, and I love international affairs. But when you live in Bay City, sometimes you don't feel so international, right?
Right.
And you feel like, gosh, how do I get involved in the world at large? And Chuck got done, and I was sold because I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I can join a local service organization that does cool things here in my own community. But at the end of the day, we're taking on global challenges, and it went beyond polio eradication, which is huge. But at the time, we were doing a lot of clean water projects down in Haiti and the Dominican Republic and different pieces. And I'm like, what a great opportunity to be global by being part of a club in Bay City I never could have imagined. And that's how they got me. I was done, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, the interesting part with Rotary is that Rotary started in 1905 with 4 people in Chicago. Paul Harris was the founder. And it was really going to be a service club for business professionals. And it's grown exponentially. There's 1.2 million people all over the planet. And some of the differences, because it started in the United States that I've seen, is the outreach. So in 85, Rotary decided to get into polio eradication. There's 125 countries at that time that had cases of polio. Now we only have 2. And those are still Pakistan, Afghanistan, and I think we're right around single to just over double digits for polio cases this year. We're trying to get in there more, which is hard with governmental issues. But that expansion and then the partnership with the Rotary Foundation, Rotary International Foundation, and the Gates Foundation has raised over $2.1 billion for polio eradication. And once they get rid of that, they're moving into other things like malaria. But there's 7 pillars of focus for this amazing service group. But the power of Rotary really expands internationally. And it's amazing what you see when you go to like a Rotary International Convention. We had one in Calgary in June. You have all of these Rotarians from all over the world that fly in from Africa and India and Indonesia and China. And they're all super fired up. They're excited to be there. And then you have us, the Americans, that have been doing this since 1905. And I'm watching these people going, man, they got Rotary garb on. There's 200 people that flew in from Ghana. They all have the same outfits. They're all super excited to be there. And I just started asking the question to some of these people. I'm like, there's 22,000 people in Calgary for Rotary. Why are you excited? And they all said the same thing. The message was Rotary has changed our lives. Rotary has changed our country. From a lady who had to walk 5 hours to get clean water for her family, now has a clean water well in her town. So I see the excitement because of the impact.
Paul, phenomenal. I love all of this. We're just getting started. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with Paul Wiese.
Save up to 50% on.
Good morning and welcome back to The Art Lewis Show. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center. Visit them at 5789 State Street in Saginaw or online at westsidedecoratingcenter.com. So I am here with Paul Wiese. Oh, by the way, the I is Matt Flan, filling in for Art this week. And I'm here with Paul Wiese, the district governor for Rotary. We talked about kind of how I joined Rotary, you joined, why, some of the things. For the people that don't know, and you gave a little bit, but if you just had to say what is Rotary in the shortest form ever, we're in the elevator. And we're in an elevator in the Great Lakes Bay region, so that means we're not going higher than 6 or 7 floors. What would you tell someone Rotary is?
I think Rotary is a service organization of ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
Wow.
Yeah.
But like you literally, I swear, you may be on Rotary International payroll. It's unbelievable
I
how
got a
good you are.
live feed in my ear.
No, you're doing good then. So as district governor, what does the district entail? How many Rotary clubs and what's the geography?
So the district is District 6310, and it's basically mid-Michigan and most of the thumb. So we kind of go all the way up to Alpena and wrap around down through Owasso and over into like Harbor Beach. And then there's 31.
How far west do you go?
Farthest is like Shepherd, Mount Pleasant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a big geography.
Yeah, it's fairly large.
How many clubs are in that geography?
There's 31 Rotary clubs, and then we have 2 satellite clubs, 3 Rotaract clubs, and 17 Interact clubs.
Okay. So I was totally with you on the 31. The 2 satellite clubs, are they floating around us in space?
No.
What are satellite clubs?
So the satellite clubs are interesting. They're a flexibility that Rotary started over the last, decade or so of trying to get different forms other than lunches and meetings. So the satellite clubs are based on basically pure service type clubs. So they're sponsored by a club. So the Bay City Noon Club that I'm a member of sponsored the Bay City Satellite Service Club. And what that club is, whole goal every month is to do service projects for nonprofits or people that need service in our city. And
Okay.
that club was founded. We are the second satellite club. We were founded in July, and we just picked nonprofits like helping the YPAC lunches, helping the Women's Center organize their pantries and clothes room. We just do things every month, and we continue to do that every month. And that's really what Rotary was founded on.
So you talked about 2 other types of designations. What were those designations?
Rotaract Club is after they graduate from high school. These are usually college clubs. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, we've had one at Saginaw Valley, Alma. We're trying to get those back after COVID. They've kind of fallen off, but Rotaract is kind of the interim. You can be a Rotarian if you'd like to, but Rotaract's kind of getting the like ages.
Yeah. Oh, well, I love that because I know when I was 18 to 22, the last thing on my mind was giving back to society and community.
Right.
I was just a nightmare. I was, a typical late teen, early 20s guy who, drank and partied and was just an idiot and was never focused on community. And I wish someone had grabbed me at that point and said, hey, you live here, they raised you, like you owe back, like you need to start getting your head around. So I love that you guys are doing that. And was there one other designation you gave?
That's why we have Interact clubs. So Interact clubs are high school clubs, and those clubs are really based on service in the community, but they're high school clubs. And when Dee Brock really got involved in Interact, so developing those clubs 10 years ago, there was only 3. Now we have 17, and at our foundation gala that we're having on Friday, tomorrow in Frankenmuth, we're going to have about 131 high school kids attend that.
So when you talk about this, do you see that these kids are really engaging? Is it hard to get kids out, or are they eager and jumping at the opportunity to be a part of it?
It's amazing. Like, these kids are doing more service, I believe, than most Rotary clubs we have, because that's what they want to do. They want to give back. and it's not a money thing, right? They're in high school. They want to do things in the community. They want to help out. And the list is pages long of just what they've done this year. And there's new clubs starting, like the new Interact Club in Midland. I mean, Birch Run's club just got re-engaged. There's 17 kids in that. It's just amazing to see when these kids get organization and leadership from people in their high school that will help them start these clubs, how much they want to do.
And do you see that clubs in general in your district are growing? Are they stagnant? Are they declining? And what do you think is the reason why one of those is happening?
Well, Rotary as a whole is growing everywhere, but kind of in the places where it's been around for a long time, like the United States, North America. They're fairly stagnant. Some people would say stable. In my opinion, I call it stagnant. Now, we're doing more with Interact, but one of the big reasons I feel like we've done that is my story about Rotary International is getting back in the community and really getting back to a service organization. Lunches, like I said, and breakfasts are great, but when you're boots on the ground, out in the community, doing good things for people in need, that generates membership. And that's kind of one of the big goals in our district now, and we have leadership behind me that's going to continue to do this, is really getting our hands dirty again, getting back to our core, which is a service organization.
So right now, someone that's listening and they're like, hey, you know what? I'm kind of interested in this. Where do they find about a local Rotary Club? Where can they go? How do they become a part of it? I think a lot of times people think like they're exclusive clubs and they're only for members, and they don't realize that, we welcome people with open arms to come to one of our meetings. What does someone do right now if they're listening? They go, you know what? I have time. I want to get engaged in community. Rotary sounds like an interesting opportunity. What do folks do at that point?
Well, Rotary is open to anyone, right? And we really are ordinary people, business professionals. It could be anyone that wants to join. And they could look up, if they go to rotary6310.org, that is our district website here. You can go to rotary.org too and search your areas if you don't live in this specific area. And it gives you the list of clubs. It gives you the times they meet. And it tells you the locations they're at, and then there's also contacts and phone numbers and emails to reach out. But you could just show up. You don't have to be a guest of anyone.
Hey, so I love that, and I think, for people that don't know about Rotary, all of us, this is what we did. We showed up as guests the first time. I will say it is much easier when someone invites you and they bring you in as their guest. It has a definitely more comfortable feel to it, right? But at the end of the day, this is a world in which we got to go and do. If you think the entire world's just going to ask for your participation, it's not. People that make a difference and people that get involved do so because they have deep passion about it and they jump in. So as we're talking about this and you hear Paul, we would both encourage you that if you want to get engaged in a Rotary Club in your local community, extraordinary people, in my opinion,
yes.
Come on in and take a look,
We also
listen,
have
go to a meeting.
Pretty good presence on Facebook, too. They can just look up the local Facebook, Bay City Noon Clubs, Rotary's 6310 Facebook, and there's postings on there and lots of information.
So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about all the different cool events and ways that Rotary impacts community to lure you in after these messages.
Hi.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. It's Matt Flan filling in for Art, and I'm here with the governor, not Big Gretch, Paul Wiese, District Governor, Rotary 6310. So, Paul, we've kind of been teasing a little bit of, hey, you can come to Rotary, whoever's out there listening. If you want to put service above self and be involved in your community, you can do it. Let's talk about some specific things that Rotary does out in the community that may lure people in, where they may hear, hey, this is what's going on, I need to be a part of it. Give us some examples of things that Rotary's doing in local communities.
Well, Rotary really has 7 areas of focus. So that comes down from RI and goes through the district and the clubs. It's promoting peace, like fighting disease, clean water and sanitation, saving mothers and children, supporting education, growing local economies, and protecting the environment. So anything we try to do, and again, we're non-political, we're non-religious, we are a straight service organization, so anything we try to do is really based off of those 7 core pillars. So a service project we did this summer was packing lunches for kids who don't have food in the summer because there's no school. And the Dow Bay Area YMCA opened this beautiful kitchen, but they're doing over 1,000 lunches a week, or 1,000 meals a week for breakfast and lunch for kids who don't have food. And they needed help packing it. It would take 4 hours for them with their team and their people. We decided to help out, and we went in with 7 Rotarians and packed over 1,000 meals in less than an hour. Mm-hmm. We enjoyed it so much that instead of just doing it 1 week, we kept coming back until this food program was over in August. So we were there for 7 weeks.
Such a little thing. It's not overly strenuous. Such a massive impact in community. I'll share a couple from the Bay City Morning Club that we do. One is as simple as we do highway pickup twice a year. We kind of have that spot when you're driving out of Bay City on the one-ways coming in and out of town before you hit 75. We clean that section of the highway twice a year. We're out there. We look like a prison outfit. We're out there in our yellow vests, and we're up there picking stuff up. It's not exactly glorious, but again, is it that hard to have a garbage bag and clean up your entrance in and out of your city, your main entrance? It's an important thing to us, so we do it. So something can be as little as that to next week. Both of our clubs have, I think, a service project that has a ton of meaning. We're hosting Rotary Vocational Day, which is a joint project between the two Bay City clubs, where we're going to have 150 high school juniors and seniors doing job shadows from 9 to noon, anywhere from McLaren to Dow to Michigan Sugar, with the county of Bay City, kind of you name it. We're going to have kids with public safety and sheriff's vehicles. We're going to have kids all over the place. And Paul, one of the things I love about this project is that it's been going on. People can't even date it, but it's been going on for longer than 50 years. And it was really established because we had a couple of year members, Griff Acker, Ralph Knopp, who were concerned that kids weren't getting into civil engineering, into veterinary, and said, gosh, we need to bring these kids in so they can see. And what I love, I've been pitching other clubs to do this, and Midland is going to follow suit, and they're going to host a vocational day and get kids job shadowing. And as a Rotarian, you're asking yourself, okay, what do you do? One, you can host kids in your own place of employment. But two, if you know great people that are out there and jobs that make sense, you just connect the club with these folks, and the kids go out and do the job shadow. Such a simple thing with massive, meaningful impact.
Yeah, that has been so neat to see. And when we fill up the room at the Doubletree with kids that are excited to be part of it and tell the stories, and you get to see, I think there was one who passed out at McLaren one time because maybe they didn't. Turns out they might not want to be a nurse.
Bit more blood than they thought.
Right. But yeah, that has been probably one of the coolest things. And we have such good leadership and continuity in getting those schools to participate too, and really getting people to show up. And I think those kids, we want to keep them in the community, and we want to let them know how much we care as Rotarians.
So I'll tell you, Paul, when I look at that McLaren one, there was a year, it's probably a good decade ago, we had a kid on an ambulance rig just job shadowing, and an elderly person had had a heart attack, and they passed away on the way to McLaren, and the kid literally saw someone leave the world. The same day we had a kid with OB and saw the birth of a child. And so when we got done that day, we're like, wait a minute, our job shadow program, 2 of our kids, one saw someone leave the world, one saw someone enter the world. Dynamic experiences that they probably wouldn't otherwise get if it weren't for the work of the Rotary clubs coming to give those kids an opportunity. So Rotary does a lot of fun things. We're going to take one more break. When we come back, we're going to talk about all the fun that Rotarians have across the community as well.
Lions fans,
Governor, because you know it's coming, right?
I'll know it'll be you because no one else will.
I'm hoping that this program today, that everyone that's been listening, including Brandy, fully just calls you governor now moving forward. I hope that we've got to that level. I think it's warranted. I think it's deserved.
My wife, who's a Rotarian as well now, actually did text me and said, well, I meant you're doing great, Governor.
Governor, yes. See, look at the impact we're having. Just like the one year we made National Donut Day a reality and people brought us donuts. It was the greatest day ever, and I screwed up this year. You know what? We're going to get the whole world to call you governor. It's coming. So, listen, we talk very altruistically about what being a Rotarian means and giving back and impacting community and doing all these things. And so we sound like Pollyanna over here. The reality is we also like to have fun as Rotarians. Talk about some of the fun events that Rotarians do and maybe just letting loose and being active in community events. What do they do?
We've done a lot of different things. You guys actually do the triathlon?
Triathlon, yeah, absolutely.
Which is an amazing event. And then I say you guys, the Bay City Morning Club, because we have two clubs.
You're
in
one
Bay
of us.
City.
You make it to my Rotary Club meetings about as much as I do. So you're literally one of us.
And then Pigeon Club, actually, which ironically, Pigeon is not a big town. I'm from the Thumb, grew up in Seaboyne. But Pigeon has an amazing club. There's 48 roughly members there, and I was there in July. So you think in July, you're not going to have a lot of people show up for the meeting, even if I'm coming to talk to them. There was 46 Rotarians there. And they are a singing club. They play music, and it was actually impressive. They got people playing guitars and music, but they do a really good fundraiser. In October, too, they do a wine tasting fundraiser, and they invite the community out. They have, I think it was Cork and Ale that came, and they have all this amazing wine and cheese and fellowship, and it's open for people to come. It's just really cool events like that.
Do they allow people from Elkton and Bayport to attend those meetings, or is it just a Pigeon only?
They allow.
They allow?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to remember, some people might live there, so you don't want to tread lightly. Right?
Totally. Just a question you ask. So one of the things I love, our club does just what they call fellowship events. And so they'll find a night, and they'll invite the group to, maybe it's a show at the State Theater. Maybe it's going to the brewery and just getting together for appetizers and beverages. They really enjoy the fellowship piece just as much as the charity piece. You brought up Triathlon, which is a cool event where we're out in Kaukaulin, and it's like a triathlon, but it's dry, meaning there's no swimming. So it's kayaking, boating, kayaking, running, and bicycling. And you can either do it as an individual or part of a team. You can do one segment versus another segment. There's a lot of options for different people. And, that's a great, we view that more as a fundraiser because it ends up raising quite a bit of money that we then use for grants that go across the community. But it's still a fun event. Yeah, it's that fellowship. What are other people doing across your district that are fun events?
We're seeing you see a lot of more social fellowship now. One of the nice part about Saginaw is they have 3 clubs, and the 3 clubs now are working together to do things like they met at the Y and did a hot dog cookout in the summer. They're doing more social events to get people that don't maybe have time to do the noon or the morning meetings, to get them together. And when you collaborate and you meet at the local watering hole, or you meet out and you have a cookout or a steak dinner, or they do a golf event, that's the stuff that really creates the glue and the relationships for people. And you also get to know people more, right? And that's the one thing that I feel like an hour is great, but when you get time to sit next to you and chat with you when you're at a local restaurant or a bar, or you're out at a cookout, you really get to understand people's passions, who they are, and you just get to have fun.
Sure, no question. I'll tell you, one of my favorite things is oftentimes just where the Rotary meetings are hosted. So if you're in Mount Pleasant, you're over at Mountain Town.
Yep. And
if you're in Frankenmuth, you're at Zenders. And if you're at Midland, you're over at the Country Club. When you're in Bay City, you're at the Doubletree. What are some cool places where people host their meetings in your district?
Well, when I went out to Harbor Beach for my visit, and ironically, Harbor Beach is a fairly long drive, right?
Yeah, that's a hike out over there.
They took me out to the lighthouse. So we actually had a Rotary meeting out at the lighthouse and a tour of the lighthouse, which was really cool.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you had to take a boat out there. That was neat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, and then down in Durand, they meet at the railroad station, the old railroad station.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really beautiful place. So
that's cool.
And you have, was in Gladwin? No, Clare. Sorry, Clare meets at the hotel in downtown Clare.
Yeah.
And then in Gladwin at the River Place front.
Yeah.
So all the meeting areas are usually pretty nice.
Yeah, I guess so. These are like the prime destinations. So we have 2 minutes, Paul. So for, again, the person that's listening, and I have to say this, folks, you can't see it, but I can. I'm looking across at Paul. He literally has Rotary socks on right now with the Rotary wheel, the whole, you cannot believe how Rotary this man is. So when someone goes to a meeting, what do you, what's their expectation? How does a Rotary meeting generally go?
Well, most Rotary meetings are about an hour long. They have a speaker come in, usually a nonprofit. We don't bring in anything from the standpoint of people trying to sell you something. So it's always mission, passion, people that are trying to do good things in the community, not necessarily Rotarians. And then the other part of that is when you come in, you're